Welcome back, everyone, to the Abundance Formula podcast. I hope you all are Christmas ready. We are set over here, minus I have one gift that's supposed to come in the mail tomorrow. So fingers crossed, because it's one that Malia is definitely looking forward to. So it's supposed to be here before Christmas, but otherwise everything is wrapped, ready to go. Super excited. Tomorrow we're going to see it's called the Enchanted Garden of Lights. So our kids love doing that annually every year with the family, their cousins, grandparents. So it's a lot of fun. So it's just really coming down to the wire. It's just going to cascade like tradition upon tradition, and the time's going to fly by. I mean, December has just flown. I mean, it really has. So we've been doing pretty good with our elf on the shelf. Snowy is what the girls have named it. There have been a couple of times we have forgotten to move the elf, but Callan and I, my husband, managed to create some pretty quick pivots that worked. So it's kept us on our toes. I am telling you guys, like when you get into the elf on the shelf situation, it is a new beast on your Christmas menu, but it can be a lot of fun. It would have been super magical when I was a kid. I mean, it's a really cool concept, but man, it's definitely serious. So we had a friend that we just found out, in fact, the other day, their elf on the shelf, they had stuck it in like a light that was off, but they didn't think about that light had been on for a while in the day. So by morning, when the kids found the elf, it had burned one of the legs off of the elf. And the parents were like, oh my gosh, what if it had literally burned our house down? And that's what I was laughing, like what us parents will do to like be creative and bring our children joy. I'm sure there is a home somewhere that has burned to the ground because of an elf on the shelf. I would not doubt it. So this is serious, but anyways, so I hope you guys are having a great Christmas season and are ready and excited for this week. Today's topic I'm really excited about. It's something that's very simple that I want you to start incorporating for the rest of this month and in 2026. I know that it's easy to get overcomplicated on goal setting and these different ways that you plan to achieve things that you set out to do in the new year, and it can get really clogged up. And then at the end of the day, you just still feel kind of lost and like you didn't get where you wanted to go. So if you're one of those people that feels that way and you're sort of struggling to find some clarity around like, what should I just start doing? What can I do to start expanding my life and creating growth in the new year in any area of your life? Okay. Today's activity we're going to do today, or today's challenge I'm going to give to you, it's a 3-step practice, short steps, 3-step practice. It's going to raise your awareness. It's going to simply take you off autopilot and make you feel alive in your life again, like you actually are existing. It's so easy to get busy and in routine and truly not even be living your life, but just exist. So today's episode is on how to stop existing and to start living. It's so easy, especially as the year end comes to like a crashing finish. It's so easy to be on autopilot and in survival mode and existing mode. So today I want to give you a tool to help reactivate your brain and wake you back up to your life so that you can truly live it and live it well and be excited about it, especially for the new year. So this will be a simple daily practice to get you off autopilot, to feel alive again. And this is designed to pull you out of autopilot and back into conscious living. Okay. So it's where you're going to be actively noticing, learning, and experiencing your life again instead of just moving through it, which I think that pretty much would sound great to anybody. So I got the original base of this idea from this incredible book that I'm reading that a friend gave to me that's called Living Fearless by Jamie Winship. I'm going to try to get him on the podcast, you guys, because he is incredible. So this book is incredible. It's a very deep book though. So this is why I say I got the original idea from him, but I'm kind of dumbing it down a little bit because this book is on massively deep spiritual reworking in yourself and identity reshaping and reprogramming. So it's a very deep book. And so he talks about these 3 steps in here, but it is very deep. different wording. And so I thought, you know what, but it's powerful. And I thought, you know what, if I could simplify this a little bit for my listeners, so whether you're advanced or a beginner in this process of growth and expansion, that's kind of what I feel is our direction for 2026 on this podcast. The journey I want to take you listeners on for 2026 is personal growth and expansion. Expansion. Okay, that's a word that I want you to start having in your mind as like the sticky note for your journey as a listener on this podcast, from the guests I'll have on to the solo episodes. Our goal is growth and expansion for you this year. So this process that he goes through in the book, these prompts, I'm dumbing them down a little bit so that we can, whether you're advanced or beginner, make sense of it and especially get the momentum going for the new year. I don't want to start too deep, too hardcore to throw you off your game from the start. Okay, if there's anything I've learned in my, gosh, almost, what is it, 18 years now of personal training and being a 5-time national athlete, like when people are starting with a fresh goal of, say, weight loss or muscle building, like you don't hit them with every layer at once, right? Nor the most complicated layer. You simplify it a little bit and you start going in layers. All right, so this is the process I want to take you through. Okay, so it's not about doing more, it's about noticing more. I want you to keep that in your mind. So this isn't about doing more, it's about noticing more. So here's the challenge for you. Each day, starting tomorrow or starting today, depending on what time of day you're listening to this, I want you to aim to do 3 things. All right. 1, I want you to aim to learn something new about yourself. This could be a simple surface thing. It could be a deep thing, but every day look for something new to learn about yourself. Okay. Number 2, I want you to learn something new about somebody else. So open up outside yourself and try to learn something. It's incredible how much just expands your awareness of just other people around you and how often you purposely turn off connection. And even for me who loves connection, I can immediately tell per conversation that I'm having when I am desiring to continue to learn or invest more in somebody or purposefully exit. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's necessary, right, to exit. But then there's plenty of times where it isn't necessary and we're just on autopilot trying to get to our next thing and we shut off the connection. And so it's great when this is your goal, because if you're on the lookout each day to learn something new about yourself, and then your goal is to learn something new about somebody else, you might have gone through your whole day and you're talking with someone and you can see your exit. You can see the exit out of the convo, but then you're like, oh, wait, I haven't learned something new about someone yet today. So then when you could cut the conversation off or piece out of the conversation, you ask that next question or aim to ask the follow-up question that helps you learn the thing you need to learn about somebody, or they're telling you a story and you ask something to get a little more out of the story, or ask their perception on something. I mean, it's really easy to get to the nugget of learning something new about someone else, and it can be really fun, and it doesn't have to take a long time. It doesn't have to lead you down a rabbit hole. But again, it's raising your awareness to connection. And all of these steps, by the way, as I get to this third one, because the third step is actually the most important, and I'll explain why. Each of these steps is not only an emotional growth expansion, but it truly is a scientific brain rewiring. There's strategy for why you're aiming to learn something new about yourself. That's reworking in your brain and exercising certain parts of your brain and learning about someone else. And then this third step, the last thing I want you to do is to aim to learn something new about God or his universe. Now, if you don't believe in God, then the second half of this still applies to you. Okay, so either way, right? If you do believe in God, aim to learn something new about God, which could be a deeper sense of what did you learn about him? What did he teach you today? Where could you see him, right? So you could take that to the deep sense, which is what his book does on a deep level, and asking him questions. Show me something about you today, right? So that's a relational network there. But even if you do or don't, then also the other thing, that's part 3, is to just learn something about the universe, like something beyond and far surpassing yourself that taps you into the vastness, wonder, and awe. The key with this question is to learn something new beyond, like outside of yourself, something that's far beyond like natural comprehension. So examples could be sitting down to just learn something new about the scale of the universe, or something truly functionally in the universe, or the complexity of the human body, or um, the profound act of courage or love, something deeper, something like that. Like where even just a concept are people born with greatness, or do they make it, right? So something that taps you into wonder and awe outside of yourself. And why is this important? Okay, so when you learn something new about God or the universe, this requires you to be engaged with vastness and awe, which is taps your brain into, it's called where is it? I'm trying to find, the salence network. I knew it was a fancy word. The salence network of your brain. So why this is important is because when you tap into awe and vastness, this actually challenges your existing mental models, which is a very good exercise for your mind for expansion. So this takes us bigger beyond ourselves. It forces the brain to expand in true understanding. And this is called cognitive expansion, which is our real goal in life, because this makes us better at everything else that we're going to do. So the specific interesting thing about the emotional sense of awe is that this is a feeling or an emotional sense that actually in the brain rewires it to assess meaning and motivation. So that salence network I was talking about, this is the part of the brain that actually helps the brain decide what matters, which is so cool, you guys. So awe activates in the brain the salence network, which is the part of the network of the brain that trains the mind to decide what matters. So this is an important area of our brain to keep this awake and alive and engaged, because one of the deepest human desires isn't for even happiness or success, but to matter. Like when you get to the real deep root meaning of what people want, it's to just have mattered, right? So this is super important. So this engaged your mind in assessing for yourself and to the world what matters, what would be meaningful. And so when that system is out of alignment, that's when people either feel numb, disconnected, depressed, or overwhelmed, anxiety. That's when all of those things, the noise like that, creeps in. And so when you train your mind to notice meaning and stop outsourcing your sense of worth to achievements, approval, or productivity, those kinds of things, it retrains your brain to recognize meaning again, so that you start, instead of chasing importance, you start living it, which is absolutely integral. I love this quote by Oscar Wilde that many of you have probably heard, that says, "To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist. That is all." And so what I want with this episode is to get you all, you guys are not those people. If you are listening to the Abundance Formula podcast, you are not one of those people. You are not seeking to just exist. And no matter how high a performer you are or how driven you are, there will be times in our lives where to keep going and to survive, we go on autopilot, and we do just kind of sedate ourselves while still doing things in the day to day, even if they're productive things, but we aren't really alive. And so it's super important to reactivate if you feel like you've kind of fallen asleep while still moving. You're living life, but you're not living it really. So if you've fallen into that, this is a simple way to reactivate your brain, both on a deep, personal level and a true scientific brain level. This is going to reawaken you and raise your awareness, bring you back to present, but truly in a way that will last long term. So each day, again, 3 simple things. This doesn't have to overwhelm you. So if you are overwhelmed by every other list you've made of goal to set, pursuit to target, right? Start here. And I promise you, you're going to wake up these different parts of your brain that do all kinds of different things. Even the first 2, which I didn't delve as deep into, because again, I don't want to overwhelm you with science too much right now. But I did want to focus on number 3, because that's the one where people could be like, oh, that's getting into the woo-woo one. It's not. It's science. So whether you are willing to take it to the greatest depth which will get you the greatest level of expansion, you guys, to seek to learn something new about God and his universe each day. But even if you start with just the universe itself and all of the vastness that it contains that we don't even can begin to understand, then that is going to work wonders truly in the neural connections and the neuroplasticity of your brain. So all of these are for a reason. You don't even have to understand the reason. Just start doing the actions. Number one, aim each day to learn something new about yourself, whether it's deep, it's surface, it's funny, right? Learn something new about yourself. Number two, learn something about someone else. Number three, learn something new about God or the universe. That's it. That's the challenge. Ask those 3 questions or try to learn those 3 things each day. And it's fun if you want to review it each day. At the end of the day, be like, okay, so I got all those checked. I learned this about myself. You could journal it. That gets you, again, even more results if you really want to expand and grow quicker. The more senses you can bring the information to light with, sight, smell, touch, audio, audible, talk it out. All of those just reset the wiring even deeper and quicker. So if you say out loud while you write in a journal the 3 things you learned, that'll get you even further faster. You don't have to do that, but make sure that you cognizantly notice at the end of the day that you did learn something new about yourself, you learned something about someone else, and you learned something beyond you about God or the universe, both, right? So that is my challenge for you. The challenge is to not just exist, but to live. If you are a listener of this podcast, that is what you are called to do, what you are called to be. And I'm so excited for you to start practicing this because 2026 is going to be the year for your greatest growth and expansion yet. And these practices will create roots that extend into every aspect of your life that to you is valuable, whether that's your relationships, whether that's your career, whether it's your health and wellness, whether it's, your spiritual life. It's going to drip into every single one of those and it's going to raise all of those up and make you more capable to show up bigger and more powerfully. And I cannot wait to watch you do it. Let me know what you thought of this episode. If it was helpful, share it, please, to someone that you think could use it and need it. Feel free to message me any questions or any suggestions for future episodes or topics you'd like to hear about. And I'm so excited for some of the guests that I have on the books for 2026. And like I said, I'm going to aim to get Jamie on the podcast if I can, because I know he is going to rock y'all's world if I can get him on here. He's incredible. The identity shifting work that he does, even if you're someone who doesn't consider yourself spiritual, that's not even who he comes to targeting, like in his work, his backstory. Like he's not like a pastor or something like that. Like it's incredible what he does. So I cannot wait to try to get him on. And I'm going through all his stuff too. So as if for some reason I can't get him on, if I can get more depth at what he's talking about to be able to relay this life-changing information to you guys, and I certainly will. But the goal and my prayer is to try to get him on here so you guys can learn from him directly. So I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch y'all next week. Bye.